Welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to cover Advanced Ortho number 8. So let's go ahead and ask our questions. Does a part have symmetry? It does. And that is from front to back. The left and the right side are not the same, and the top and the bottom are not the same. So how many chunks could we tear it into, and how would we describe this shape? I would say we could tear it into 2 chunks. You got this kind of tuning fork shape here, and then this T with some chamfers on it. So where do we start with this part? Which view best shows the shape? I would say top view for the tuning fork part and the T shape here, and then the side view for the angles. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to draw in this T shape first. And so we're going to sketch on the top view. And we're going to make sure that because we do have symmetry, we project all 3 planes. And we're going to go ahead and we're just going to draw in our rough shape. And so that rough shape looks like this. And then what we're going to do is throw in a couple of symmetric constraints between these 2 points and these 2 lines. Let's try this again. These 2 lines, it might not give it to me. I might have to use the other points. Yep. So we'll use these points and we'll see if this works. Something didn't go right. Let's back up a step. Let's try this again. Let's put a symmetric constraint between this line, and this. Oh, that's what it is. These 2 lines and this. So now the only thing that moves should be that, which is good. Coming back to our PDF, if we look at it here, we've got 1.5 plus 0.8, which is this 0.4 here, plus another 0.4, which equals 2.3. So we will go ahead and dimension our overall here as 2.3. And then sneaky little guy keeps popping up. 0.94 from here to here. And we're going to drag this in. And this is 0.4 over and 0.26 this way. So if we dimension those, we are fully constrained. Our overall height is 1.5. So there's our extrusion. So if we go back and we take a look at our chamfer, what we know about our chamfer is that it starts up 1.06 from the bottom and is a 30-degree angle. And so this is where we have to be a little careful when we put this chamfer in. We're going to pick this face for our distance angle, this face, this edge, and then our distance is 1.5 minus 1.06, and that gets me the distance from the top to this line, and then our angle is 60. Now the angle shows 30, but it's all about where Inventor is asking us to give it the angle from. So we need to change this to 60. And that gives us a result between here and the angled face of 30. Now we cannot mirror this because it is a distance and angle chamfer. So we're just going to go ahead. This is the nice thing about Inventor. If I pick the opposite face and the same edge up here on the opposite side, all of my settings are held. Apply, cancel, and I'm done. Next step will be to sketch on the XZ. So we're going to go ahead and sketch on XZ. Since we have symmetry again, all 3 work planes get projected. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw in this shape roughly. And so we're going to come down here, we're going to come over here, and then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And I'm not going to worry that nothing lines up yet, because right now I just want to get this started. I'm going to put symmetric constraints between these 2 points and this line. I'm going to make these two lines collinear, I'm going to put symmetric constraint between this point, and this line. And I don't know that I'm going to need one. I will need one between this point, and this line here. I can also put one between these 2 points, and that will make them line up horizontally, so that when I put in a circle here, it'll let me trim it correctly. So this is an approximate shape. And then what we need to start doing is putting in some dimensions. So we're given 0.3, 0.46, and 0.78. So if we go 0.3, 0.46, 0.78 divided by 2 for the radius of that. And this length is 1.9, and that's a linear length along here, not aligned. So if we do a dimension, got out of sketch mode there, here of 1.9, and then we need a 4.12 overall length. So if we dimension from this line to this line of 4.12, this needs to come in. So we need to locate this arc because it's able to be dragged, and that is 1.12 from the center of the arc to the edge of the part. So 1.12 should get us fully constrained, which it did. Now this may or may not extrude, and it did. I was concerned that this line down here hadn't been chosen as a sketch boundary, but it had. So we need to be 0.76 tall. And that's it. So not the most easily read dimensioned part. We'll cover that when we get into drawings and detailed dimensions. But good enough to get us done. That's going to conclude this tutorial. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next